Before we begin, take 1 second right now. If you enjoy rare coins, hidden value, real history, and the kind of knowledge most people walk past every day, subscribe to the channel and stay with me until the very end. What you are about to hear may completely change the way you look at the coins in your pocket. Most people think small change is worthless. It rattles in drawers, disappears between couch cushions, or gets handed over without a second thought. But every once in a while, a single coin quietly carries a story far bigger than its size. A story of power, survival, national identity, and unexpected value. Today, that story belongs to the South Africa 50 cents coin dated 2024. At first glance, it looks ordinary. Nothing flashy. No gold shine. No oversized design screaming for attention. That is exactly why most people miss it. Men who've worked their whole lives know this truth well. The most valuable things often don't announce themselves. They wait for someone who knows how to look. South Africa's coinage has always reflected more than money. It reflects struggle, pride, transition, and endurance. For decades, South African coins have marked the passage of time through political change, economic pressure, and cultural resilience. When you hold a modern South African coin, you're not just holding metal. You're holding a continuation of a long national story that began long before any of us were born. The 50 cents denomination has a special place in that story. It sits in the middle ground. Not the smallest, easily ignored coin. Not the largest, most celebrated one either. It's practical, balanced, and dependable, much like the men who tend to appreciate it most. Now consider the year 2024, a year shaped by global uncertainty, rising costs, and shifting values across the world. In times like these, mints don't just produce coins randomly. Every detail matters. The weight, the composition, the imagery, the message it sends, both subtle and strong. This particular 50 cents coin carries forward South Africa's tradition of strength and continuity. Its design choices are deliberate. Clean lines, firm symbols, nothing excessive. It reflects a country that has learned to endure storms and still stand upright. That quiet confidence resonates deeply with those who've lived long enough to understand that real strength doesn't need noise. Collectors know this feeling well. That moment when you sense a coin is different, even before you know why. Maybe it's the finish. Maybe it's the strike quality. Maybe it's the year. Or maybe it's simply the instinct earned from decades of watching history repeat itself in metal form. What makes modern coins interesting is not just rarity, but timing. Coins minted during pivotal periods often gain attention later, when people look back and realize what that moment truly represented. The 2024 South Africa 50 cents coin exists at one of those crossroads. Production numbers matter, but so does survival. Many coins never make it into collections. They get worn down, lost, melted, or forgotten. Only a fraction remain in high condition. And condition, as seasoned collectors know, separates common from desirable. Men between 35 and 65 understand value differently than younger generations. It's not about hype. It's about substance, longevity, something you can hold, pass down, and explain. This coin fits that mindset perfectly. It is understated, yet meaningful, accessible, yet quietly commanding respect. There is also something powerful about national coinage in a globalized world. While digital money floats unseen and numbers change on screens, a coin like this remains solid. It reminds us that value used to be something you could feel in your hand. Weight mattered. Craftsmanship mattered. South Africa's minting history is respected worldwide. Even modern issues benefit from that legacy. International collectors pay attention, especially when a coin represents continuity rather than novelty. The 50 cents coin does exactly that. It doesn't chase trends. It reinforces identity. Another factor many overlook is how future nostalgia works. In 10 or 20 years, people won't remember every coin. They'll remember the ones tied to stability during uncertain times. Coins from years like 2024 often become reference points. That was the period when everything was changing. That context adds emotional weight, and emotional weight adds demand. And demand, as every experienced man knows, is where value begins to rise. The metal itself plays a role too. Modern alloys are engineered for durability, but also consistency. That consistency allows collectors to spot anomalies, errors, or exceptional strikes more easily. And when they do, attention follows. There is also pride involved. South African collectors see this coin as part of their ongoing story. International collectors see it as a piece of a nation that has shaped global history in ways many don't fully appreciate. That dual appeal is rare, but what's interesting is how often these coins are overlooked today. They pass through hands daily. They're spent without thought. And that is exactly how future collectibles are born. History is full of examples where ordinary coins became extraordinary simply because no one paid attention at the right time. That if you're watching this and thinking, I've probably held one of these already, you're probably right. And that realization should make you pause. Because value isn't always about what you're chasing. Sometimes it's about what you've already touched. The 2024 South Africa 50-cent coin represents quiet potential. It doesn't shout. It waits. And for the man who understands patience, that waiting can be rewarding. Now here's where the story starts to tighten. Because while many coins share similar traits, not all of them end up being talked about. Something separates the ones that stay ordinary from the ones that rise above. Sometimes it's timing. Sometimes it's scarcity. Sometimes it's the market waking up all at once. Collectors around the world are paying closer attention to modern issues than ever before. The old assumptions no longer hold. Age alone doesn't determine worth. Significance does. And significance is built from context, design, and survival as years pass. Fewer high-quality examples remain. Interest slowly builds. Conversations start quietly among serious collectors. Prices adjust. Then one day, what was once pocket change is suddenly something people search for. And that brings us to the part most people never expect. Because the South Africa 50-cent coin from 2024 is not just being looked at anymore. It's being evaluated, studied, compared, and quietly placed into collections that understand long-term value. What that means for its worth is something I'll reveal at the end of this story. And when you hear the number, it may surprise you more than you think. But before we get there, there's still more to uncover about why this coin stands where it does, and what makes it different from the countless others struck the same year. If you want me to continue and take this all the way to the dramatic value reveal at the end, tell me to continue and I'll deliver the rest.